Welcome back to Steve Sports. In this video, we're going to be recapping the state semifinals matchup between Martinsburg and University. We're also going to look a little bit at the Morgantown and Jefferson State semifinal game as well. So if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe below. Let's jump right in. Martinsburg would get the ball first in this semifinal matchup, and it doesn't take long before Brian Dick gets a huge run into University territory. But after some nice run from Boston Todd and McDonald Gibson gets them into the red zone, penalties start to show up again and stall this drive, leading to a field goal attempt, which Cody Page would miss left, giving University a huge stop on the first drive. University facing third and long on their first drive, and Jack Byer, who was stepping in for the injured Helbig, makes a big first down run to move the chains. After a nice pass from Byer and then a pass interference moves the ball into Bulldogs territory, they face third down again, and this time Byer can't escape Kovacs, who's there for the sack on third down. After a botched snap on fourth gives the Bulldogs the ball near midfield, they face their own third down, and it's Boston Todd going up to grab this one and getting a foot down in bounds to move the chains. A few plays later, facing fourth and long, Brian Dick fires an in route to the sophomore Kaila Villa, who makes a great grab to get the first down. And just a few plays later, Dick finds Boston Todd crossing the back of the end zone to put the Bulldogs up 7-0. Due to a penalty after the touchdown, University would receive a short field and face third and long, where Ty Ricketts continues to make big plays on defense and bats down the pass, forcing the punt. However, on the punt, the Dogs get penalized for roughing the punter, and the Hawks keep the ball in good field position. But Kovac gets another big sack to force second and long, where Byer does find a man for about half the yards needed. However, this drive would stall and they would settle for a field goal to make this game 7-3. After this fourth down stop by University, the Hawks would get the football back, where they have a chance to take the lead on the defending champs. On third and six, Byers drops back and throws an out route for Hayden George, but Ty Ricketts is all over it and comes away with a much needed interception for the Bulldogs. From there, the first play of the drive is to Boston Todd, who makes a man miss during this cutback inside, and he runs it into the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. The Bulldogs jump in front 14-3. On the kickoff, George notices the ball didn't quite bounce into the end zone and makes a heads up play to pick it up at the goal line and actually makes a man miss and finds the sideline, taking this all the way into Bulldogs territory. And on third down for Byer, he looks deep and finds Glenn Brown, who adjusts nicely to the ball and hauls it in for the score, making this game 14-10. Picking up on third down for the Bulldogs, and we see Brian Dick let this one sail a little too far, and Hayden George is there for the interception, and University now has another chance to take the lead over Martinsburg. And Jack Byer knows it, looking deep here for KK Lewis, who brings in an incredible grab at the 36. Byer would then find Weaver here to get the Hawks into the red zone, but the drive would end in a field goal, making this game 14-13. Sadly, most of the video of the final 2 minutes of the half was lost due to some errors from the broadcast, but the Bulldogs were able to drive the length of the field and score a touchdown off a pitch to Brian Dick at the end of the half to make it 21-13 at the break. Coming out of the half, University would go 3 and out, giving Martinsburg the ball, and Brian Dick starts the drive with a nice 20-yard run. A few plays later, Myers has some of the same action, all before Brian Dick finds Boston Todd in the end zone again for the score to make this game 28-13. Next Hawks drive sees Jack Byer thread the needle down the seam to find Hayden George for the big play into Bulldogs territory, and a penalty after that would get them into the red zone, where once again that Bulldog defense tightens up as Colby Walker dives in here to break up the pass on fourth and goal. Ensuing Martinsburg possession, and it's Kevin Myers again finding a hole and taking it into University territory. A few plays later, it's Brian Dick finding the senior Mason Wally on the deep crosser, and he scores to make it 35-13 as the Bulldogs start to pull away. University's next drive needing points, and we see Jack Byer looking deep, and it's Mason Wally blanketing coverage, gets the head around, and somehow intercepts the ball, giving it right back to Martinsburg to start the fourth quarter. In the first play of the fourth quarter, Kevin Myers takes the handoffs and runs the dagger right through University's defense for 59 yards in the score, making it 41-13. And the snowball keeps rolling downhill for University as the ensuing kickoff is muffed and they can't fall on it, giving Martinsburg great field position. But after this wild fourth and goal, University would stop the Bulldogs from advancing the lead. The Hawks would punt the ball back, however, after an empty possession, and it bounces off Wally, which gives University the chance to recover in Bulldogs territory. Facing fourth down, though, Byer drops back, throws it deep, and it's the senior Von Bell there for the interception. Martinsburg takes over with 9 minutes left. Martinsburg would get into University territory thanks to some nice runs from KMG and Ricketts, setting up Brian Dickett's big run inside the 10-yard line. But the drive would stall from penalties, leading to a Cody Page field goal, making it 44-13 Martinsburg. That would end up being our final score here as the Bulldogs advanced to their third straight state championship. This game was a little nerve-wracking at the beginning as the Dogs' penalties allowed University to stay in this game a lot longer than they probably should have. But that defense was incredible, forcing multiple sacks and interceptions en route to a big win for Martinsburg. University has a really great team, though. Some talented players. Hayden George is a gamer. It's not hard to see why they upset Huntington at all. They had the Dogs on the ropes in the first half there. But for my players of the game in this one, I went Boston Todd on offense. When in doubt, find number two and air it out. Seems to be the method for Brian Dick and the Bulldogs offense. Todd's gotten even more involved in the run game as the year has gone on. And even on that 90% leg, he was the best player on the field. Sitting him for the second half was kind of crucial for this state championship game. Hopefully, he's 100% by then. Defensively, I had to go Ty Ricketts. Wally was incredible this game as well, but it seemed all the big plays were made by Ty Ricketts. By my count, he had 3 pass breakups and an interception with 6 tackles in this game. This kid is a menace on defense. Quick recap of the Morgantown and Jefferson game. Morgantown would jump ahead to a 21-0 early lead after a 1-yard touchdown run from Maddox Twig and then a pair of touchdown passes from Twig to Jaden Smalls, one from 45 yards and the other from 31. After that, it was the fastest player in the state, Tony Allen, who takes the kickoff and breaks a tackle spinning into the open field, taking it 92 yards for a touchdown, making it 21-7. After Jackson Rockwell's touchdown scramble makes it 21-14, it became all Mohegans, as Twig would run in 2 more scores inside the 5-yard line before Carter Cooper would take a punt 64 yards down the sideline for a touchdown, and Maddox Twig ended it with a touchdown pass to Carter Cooper as Morgantown rolls Jefferson 52-21. This sets up a rematch of Morgantown's only loss for the state championship, and we see the top player in West Virginia's 27 class and 28 class match up again, and I'm excited for this game. If you enjoyed this video, though, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe below. Check out my preview of the 4A state title game, and as always, stay blessed and go Bulldogs.